Hello friends, welcome back. And in the last session, right, we discussed about interface config, which is info if config, and we also discussed about packet internet gropper. In this session, we're going to talk about traceroute, as well as telnet, as well as we're going to talk about something DNS related tools, right, which is dig, NSLOOKUP, and host actually. Yeah. So if possible, we'll talk about netstat, SCP, and nmap, but we can actually discuss this in a separate video. So in this video, we call about traceroute. First one, what exactly is traceroute? So it is in Windows, right? You can actually call this as traceroute actually. Okay, it's actually called as traceroute. So give me 1 minute, let me stop it. So what exactly is traceroute is, in Windows you can actually traceroute www.google.com. What exactly it will do is it will show the path where exactly it is going. If you see, it is, if the packet is trying to reach the google.com, right, which way it is going on. If you see it, first packet, right, it is going to my wireless router. From there it is going to the broadband.actcorporate.in. From there it is going to the different DNS, and from there it is going to reach to finally to the www.google.com actually. Okay, this is basically traceroute. The same thing in Linux, right? What we're going to call it as, it is actually called traceroute. Okay, traceroute, and I'm going to say www.google.com, right? Oh, sorry, google.com. If you type it, so what it is going to do, it's saying that one traceroute is not installed. So why? Because it's a program actually. What I can do is I can actually apt update and install apt install traceroute. So it's going to install the traceroute. See? And you have one more tool actually, so it is called as MTR, my traceroute. We can also install that one as well. Let me install that one. And if you see, if you go back and check it out in Windows, right, if I use traceroute www.google.com, you can see how actually your packet is going. So initially it is going from my local router towards my ISP provider. Finally it is reaching to 172.27, which is actually looks like MAA. MAA is actually airport code for Chennai actually, at least MAA. So if I try to do the same thing from Google or something, right? Sorry, if you say do the same thing from from here, right? It will should go to a different different server actually. Let's try it out. I also install apt install MTR as well. MTR hyphen. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to traceroute. So www.google.com. What is happening? If you check it out, it's checking out 30 hops max, and it's trying to reach the www.google.com. So if you see, if I try and run it again, it's going on, and it is showing how exactly the packet is routing towards various hops. Hops means it's different routers, you can say, how exactly packet and finally reaching. Okay, so you can also use MTR as well. If you type MTR, because we installed MTR, www.google.com, right? See this? It is actually reaching to this one. So this is how it will come. It will give a very good response actually when compared to traceroute, right? It is showing what is the packets, how things are going on and everything. It will show all these things. MTR is far better when compared to my traceroute actually. Yeah. So similarly, if you go to the Windows, right, you have one more thing called as Pathping. Pathping and www.google.com, right? So it will only ping the path actually. If you see, it is showing my desktop, and it is showing all, only instead of showing this milliseconds everything, it will simply show which path the packet is traveling and how exactly it is reaching the destination here. See, 8, and finally it is going to reach the this one 172.17.63.36, right? That is the final. So it reached in computing statistics for 225 seconds. So it is actually giving you whole path. Similarly here we're going to use the traceroute. So this is useful when you are troubleshooting, right? You are unable to reach to the customer website or customer server or something. So what you can do, you can simply type MTR and say 8.8.8. So what will happen? It will check it out and show us how exactly the packet is getting routed. Finally, at the 11, you can see it reached the google.com. Here it will show all the host actually. Or if you are press Q, or you can also type traceroute, give 8888. It will show the path, how exactly it is going on. It will finally give you how the packet is getting routed. So this is useful for troubleshooting. If you are unable to reach some server and you know how exactly the packet. Sometimes what will happen in a company, there will be a lot of firewalls actually. Now the packet should go through the firewalls in order to reach. What I'm trying to say is, imagine you have, let me move this down. Imagine you have a server here, or I'll do one thing. You have a server here. I'm going to move this server here, and I'm going to move this server towards here. Now imagine if there are a lot of firewalls in between. So these are all firewalls actually. Now what will happen? Sometimes the packet won't be able to reach towards your destination because there is some firewall mistake is there actually. So what it will happen is, the firewall guy or the security or network guy, imagine you have too many firewalls, right? Now the packet through this one, the packet should be able to reach to this server. Now if you have 5 firewalls, you need to do in such a way, you need to open inbound connection, outbound connection, a lot of things need to be done. So still it is not working. Now at the troubleshooting, right, they will ask you to, okay, run a trace route. So what you can do, trace route, I'm going to say, for example, server IP is 10.1.1.36, right? So what it will do, it will go and check it out. So because it is internally, it will go at one shot. But if you try to give like, if I want to reach the website called mavericktrainings.com, so what will happen? It will go like this. It will show completely how exactly the packet is traveling. So at one time what will happen is, it will end somewhere actually. Then we'll say, okay, the packet is not going beyond this particular IP. Then the network people will check it out. Okay, this is having the issue at this firewall. They'll narrow down the issue, troubleshoot there, and get it resolved. That is how traceroute is useful. So traceroute, you can get traceroute or traceroute, whatever you like. So it will be used for troubleshooting purposes. Okay. Next is Telnet. So Telnet is very useful if you want to troubleshoot the applications actually. So simple say, what is Telnet? Telnet is nothing but telephone network. What is the use of telephone network? To find a particular port is open or closed. So let's take an example. See, I have a Linux server here, right? Imagine I have this 10.1.1.36. I'm going to close it. Okay. Now I'm going to connect to this server, which is this server. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to open a putty session. And one thing you need to check it out here is, see this port 22 at the right. Now what exactly is happening is, when you open the putty, this putty will connect to this server on port 22. What you need to understand, every application will work on specific port actually. This port count is from starting from zero, I don't think 0, but I think 1 to, I think 65,000, some 535 something is there. So these are the ports actually. Every application will use one specific word. For example, if you take SSH, right, which is our putty secure shell, right? SSH will be using port 22, whereas RDP, which is Windows, use 3389, and for example DNS we use 53. Okay, so and for example LDAP uses 389, like this. And if you use HTTP, the websites, right, it uses 80, whereas HTTPS uses 443, SMB uses 445, for some like this. Okay, so every application will have specific port. Now imagine if you are not able to reach some server. Okay, if you are trying to putty, if you are actually trying to take a putty session and you are not reachable, so what you need to do is, you need to check it out if any particular port is open or not, or any service is running. Let me put an easy example for you. So let me log into this server. Okay, now this is 10.1.1.36, right? I'm going to put this in yellow. Change settings, I'll go to colors and give 255. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll try to telnet from here. I'll say telnet 10 dot, okay, 10 dot 1 dot 1 dot 36, and you need to give the port number. For example, if I type 22, okay, I'm telling use the telnet, connect to this server on port 22, hit enter. It is saying, see, connected. That means the port is open on that one. But if I try to do that in 25, for example, which is SMTP port actually, unable to connect to the remote host, connection refused. Now it can happen if there are in two cases actually. One case is there is nothing is running on port 25. For example, if I try to connect on port 80, it will fail because there is nothing running on the port 80. So what I can do, let me do one thing. If we go and type some command called netstat -a, if you type netstat -a, what it will do is it will all the open ports which are listening actually. So if you see, so what I'll do, netstat -a, I'll say grep -i, and I'll say listening actually. Okay, I'm going to put grep and listening, hit enter. Now if you see, these are the ports it is listening. So what I'm going to do, watch -n1, and I'm going to run this. So what will happen, every second it's going to run the command, okay, and check me what are the ports it is opening. On the next, I'm going to open a different duplicate session. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, right now if you see, there is no 80 actually, we have 877 everything, right, but there is no 80. What I'm going to do is apt install nginx and service nginx start. If I'm going to something like nginx start, okay, I'm going to hit enter. Let's see what's going to happen. It's asking me, you want to hit yes, I'm going to want to install. What it is saying, let me, nginx I told to install, okay, apt install nginx -y, let's install. It is saying okay, let's run apt update first. Okay, now I'm going to run apt install nginx -y. So if you see, it's installing, but still there is no change in the ports actually. It is still the same ports, right? Let's check it out. What might happen? I'm going to start the service. I thought it should come here. Okay, if I go and listening, I thought it should be like, well, let's try to netstat -a. I thought there should be some 80 port opened actually. So what happened? See, it is opening, check it out. See, netstat -a, it is clearly saying TCP, it is actually opening, it listening on this port actually. Now if you try to telnet, right, it should work actually. Earlier, it's not working, right? Now check it out. If I try it, if enter, see, it's connected. Now, the connection will get refused for two things. One is if the service is not running. So let me check it out. Let me stop the service. Right now it is working, right? I'm going to stop this service. So I'm going to say service nginx stop. If you stop the service, that particular port won't be utilized actually. If I go netstat -a, you won't be able to see this one. Okay, let's try to connect again because the service is gone. If you see, the connection is refused. If the service is not working, then it can't connect. So I'm going to start the service again. Start. Now if I try to connect again, now it will connect. See. So this is how you can use the Telnet to check it out whether particular port is opened or not. Okay. Now if this is one of the case, if the service is gone. Otherwise, if you have a firewall in between, right, if the port is not allowed, then also it won't be able to connect. So it's simply telling how I can say Telnet can be used to check whether the particular port is open on the other side or not. For example, let's check it out. I'm going to put Telnet and 8.8.8.8 and say 53, because 888 is a DNS actually. So DNS works on 53. Let's check it out. See, it's connected. Okay. Now I'll say telnet www.google.com and check port 80. It's saying it's connected. I can also check it out if it is working. Come on, this is what happens. Yeah. I can also check 443, is it reachable? 443, see, it's connected. So, but if you type for 800, for example, it should not work. Okay, if I go here, type 800, because there won't be any service running on 800. So obviously what will happen, it is keep on trying and it will say I can't connect to that one. So trace route, earlier it will be useful on which way the path is going on, how the packet is traveling. Telnet will be used to find out whether the destination has that particular port opened or not. So these two can be used on the troubleshooting of the Linux. For example, in the Linux or even Windows as well. It doesn't matter that you are going to use it, but the commands, these commands, Telnet command even work in Windows also, but you need to have the Telnet install. So trace route will be used to reach to particular destination, how exactly the path is going on. Whereas Telnet is check whether the particular port is opened on the destination. In example of, imagine you are actually traveling from Mumbai to Hyderabad, for example. So the path, right, how exactly you are going, or Mumbai to Pune, for example, you go to Lonavala, from Lonavala you go to Mumbai. So that path is actually trace route. The destination is actually, for example, you want to go and go to the beach in Mumbai, and you are traveling from Pune. So the way which you go to express highway, right, it is actually the trace route. But whether the beach is opened or not, right, that is actually Telnet. So whether if the beach is open, that means you will be able to connect using Telnet, or it will say connection refused. That is how you can use trace route and Telnet in hand to find out or to troubleshoot your destination is reachable, as well as how the traffic is going on. Okay. Next is we need to talk about something like dig, nextstat and everything, which we are going to use, or which we are going to talk in the next video. Okay. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.